What is your name, please?
My name is William Wohl.
What is your name, please?
My name is William Wohl.
What is your name, please?
My name is William Wohl.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real William Wohl and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Good evening, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. And now may I introduce our panel. What is your name, please?
My name is Julie Newmar.
My name is Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Gardner.
Julie, on behalf of all of us, may I welcome you on this your first visit to our panel?
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Also nice to know that your play Marriage Ground is doing so well. Glad you could make it with us tonight. Now, as you heard, these three gentlemen all claim to be William Wohl. Only one, of course, is the real William Wohl. The other two have merely assumed that identity. Now, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it? I, William Wohl, am an assistant conductor in the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad. My hobby is swimming. Every working day since 1953, summer or winter, I have gone swimming in Lake Michigan. Often in the wintertime, it is necessary for me to break the ice with an axe to get into the water. I have been swimming on days when the air temperature was 15 degrees below zero. I have never been sick a day in my life, although on several occasions, I have frozen my nose. Signed, William Wohl. Panel, you heard these three gentlemen, as did I. All claim to be William Wohl, year-round, summer and winter swimmer. Only the real William Wohl is required to answer your questions truthfully. Let's begin tonight's questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, do you go into the water only once or a little bit at a time?
Exercising before I go.
Exercise before
Just
you go.
a little
Then you
bit.
dive in?
And the diving.
Uh-huh. It says here that you go swimming, number two, in Lake Michigan when it's 15 degrees below zero. Why?
Because it keeps me in top-notch shape.
Uh-huh. Number three, you can settle a controversy for me. When you have a frostbitten nose or something, is it good to rub snow on it or put it in hot water till it defrosts?
Oh, rub snow on it, I would say.
Snow is better.
You put it in hot water, you might drown warmly.
Number one, where do you change your clothes?
On the beach.
And you only froze you didn't freeze your ears or anything?
All righty. Hi, Gardner.
Well, I think to stay on the same beam, number two, when your nose freezes, does it get red, white, or blue?
It gets red first.
And then?
And then, how long do you want to wait?
Until it thaws out. Number two, what happens when it thaws out? What is the color?
Color gets blue.
Uh-huh. Number three, how did publishers Marshall Field and Jack Knight recently make mutual news in Chicago?
I don't know.
Would you know, number two?
Could you repeat that question, please?
How did Marshall Field, both of these men are publishers, and Jack Knight make news recently in Chicago?
They tried to merge their business.
Number one? Oh.
Julie Newmar.
Number one, I'm dying to know how long you stay in that water.
About 10 minutes in the winter.
About 10
Indefinitely in summer, actually.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
And number three, how long do you stay in the water?
Oh, I'd say about 8-10 minutes.
8 to 10 minutes. Tell me, number two, there is an organization that is quite famous for people who dive in the wintertime, particularly when the ice is frozen over. What is the name of it?
It's a couple of organizations. One is the Polar Club, and the other is the Eskimo Club.
Oh. Number three, since you're in railroading, surely you would know what the term to highball is.
I believe it means to go ahead.
Depends on whether or not it's a commuter train. Ralph?
Number 1, do you live in Chicago?
Yes, sir.
Where do you live?
That means near Chicago, in Aurora.
Where?
In Aurora.
In Aurora. Number 2, do you live in Chicago?
I live in Aurora, sir.
Number 3, where do you live?
In Aurora.
All friends, I presume. Number 1, where do you swim?
Michigan Lake.
I know, but whereabouts?
That's about from Roosevelt Avenue, about 2 miles from there. Past the aquarium. I have about
That's
2
it,
miles to
panel.
walk.
Sorry, but it's time to vote. Without consultation, will you please, as usual, mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3. Remember, please, that the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballots? Julie, all ready? For whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1.
Hmm? Any reason?
Yes, I believe that, I don't think he'll ever retire from that second occupation.
Okay, Ralph, what about your vote?
Number 1. I really think he was put there to bait us, but he does look more like the fellow who might go swimming every day through the winter. He looks like he might have had a frozen nose, too.
Kitty, your selection?
Well, I voted for number 2 based on high, and if you've misled me again with those 2 newspaper fellas, Mr. Knight and Mr. Marshallfield, I'll kill you when the program's over.
Aye, it's a big risk.
I
For whom
voted
did
for
you
number
vote?
2 also. For the same reason that you think that I misled you. I didn't. Actually, number 2 has a frozen nose for news. He had an inkling that the 2 Chicago papers did merge, and that's why I voted for number 2.
All right, there you have it. Votes are in. Mine's made up. Let's find out right now before we go any further which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real year-round frozen swimmer. So will the real William Wohl please stand up? We'll check that in just a minute. All right,
know about highball.
let's check into that in just a second. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are first and what you do?
I'm Mr. Peter Paul, Vice President of Fugazi Travel, the oldest agency in the United States.
Thank you, sir. And number 2, what about you, sir?
I'm Roderick Sickwart. I'm a jiu-jitsu expert. I'm the owner and director of the Sickwart Jiu-Jitsu and Judo School on 54th Street in Manhattan.
Thank you, sir. Now, just very briefly, because time is running rather short, Ralph said that you didn't know highball, and yet you're the real one. I assume he meant the highball term as applied to a railroad locomotive. Well, do you have any reason why you didn't know that term?
Well, first I thought you meant to drink. I don't drink.
I think also this is a fairly short railroad, isn't it? How long is its entire run?
Well, we run all the way to California.
All the way to short railroad. Well, there you are. I tried. I thought maybe you didn't go that fast, but there you are. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I hope you had a good time. In checking the score, we noticed that you fooled the entire panel, so there were 4 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $1,000 for Marlboro. On your way out, you'll find a carton of Marlboro cigarettes for each of you. Thanks for being with us. Good night and good luck. All right, panel, let's meet our next group of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dorothy Eunack.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dorothy Eunuch.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dorothy Eunack.
Very well, panel, here we go with another affidavit. I, Dorothy Eunack, am a detective in the New York City Transit Police. It is my job to patrol in civilian clothes the city's subway and bus systems on the watch for muggers, bag openers, lush workers, mall buzzers, bumpers, cannons, and other lawbreakers. Although I am proficient in judo, I always carry a gun in my handbag. So far, in my 6.5 years on the force, I have made several hundred arrests. I hold the highest decoration my service can award, the Outstanding Police Duty Bar. I won it by capturing an armed robber in the subway. And I am the only woman who ever won this award. Signed, Dorothy Eunack. Panel, these three ladies all claim to be Dorothy Eunack, police officer. We begin this questioning this time with Hi Gardner. Hi.
Thank you, Bud. Number 2, what is the difference between a dip and a dipso?
Well, a dipso is a drunk. A dip is someone who rolls someone or steals a wallet.
Uh-huh. Number 1, where is Night Court located?
It's located in felony court in the criminal courts building.
Where exactly?
100 Center Street.
Uh-huh. Number 3, who exactly is John J. Murtaugh?
He's chief magistrate.
Number 2, did you ever pinch a man and have him pinch you back? I mean, did you have any trouble with anybody you try to apprehend?
I've had a little trouble, not exactly a pinch.
Number...
Julie?
Number 1, I must know this answer. What is the difference between a Lush worker and a mall buzzer?
A Lush worker rolls drunks, and a mall buzzer buzzes malls.
Well, there you are.
Number 2, after arresting somebody, can you get them to the... Yeah, I take it you take them to the precinct, is that correct?
Well, usually.
Yes. Do you get them there all by yourself?
Oh, no, I work with a partner.
You work with who?
A partner, a male partner.
Oh, I see. Number 3, suppose you were sitting across the subway from 3 people, and they all look precisely alike, and one of them was to be a known criminal. What outstanding characteristic would point out the difference to you?
Well, if they were a known criminal, they'd be known, and you'd see their pictures.
No, I mean...
There you are. Ralph?
Number 1, I guess it says here that you carry a gun in your bag. Have you got it now?
Yes, I have.
Number 2, have you got it now?
Sure do.
Number 3, have you got it now?
Certainly do.
We better leave, haven't we? Well, number 1, who is the only woman member of the force who has killed a man in the line of duty?
I don't know that.
Number 2, do you know?
I don't think anyone on the transit authority.
No, I just mean on the force.
Oh,
Number
no, I don't
3,
know, sorry.
you know?
Not on the police, not on the transit authority.
Number 1, where are headquarters arrests booked?
At headquarters.
Number 2, where are headquarters arrests booked?
At headquarters.
Number 3, then I get that answer.
Number 3, where are headquarters?
At headquarters.
I see. Number 1, how quickly can you get a gun out of your handbag?
As quickly as necessary.
Number 2, do you carry anything else in your handbag besides a gun?
Yes, I do.
Well, now, you know, I do too, and I can't get anything out of my bag. It takes me 10 minutes to get a bobby pin out of my bag. I couldn't arrest anybody. Number 3, what's a cannon?
A cannon is a real elite crook.
An elite crook?
A big gun.
Number 3, where did the robber that you arrested carry his gun?
I beg your pardon?
Now, where did the robber that you arrested carry his gun?
In his pocket.
And who got theirs first?
That's it. I'm sorry to say, again, it's time to vote. No consultation. Will you please mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3?
I don't know what happened to Elizabeth Street.
Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballots? Julie, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1.
What was your reason this time?
I don't know. She seems to know less of the answers, so I'm quite curious to know more.
Ralph, your vote, please.
Number 3. Pure hunch.
Your hunch?
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Kitty?
Well, I voted for number 2 because she said she does carry other things in her handbag, and I think that a policewoman would. And she seems rather stern.
All right. And Hi Gardner, what about your selection this
I
time?
voted for number 2, but I think all 3 girls are bright enough to be detectives anywhere. I voted for number 2 principally, I think, because she looks most deceitful, and I think she could... No, not what you mean. I just think that she would fool an awful lot of people who wouldn't realize that there was a cop around.
Okay, there you have it. Our votes and our reasons. Let's find out right now which one of these 3 ladies is the real police officer. So will the real Dorothy Eunack please stand up? Well, Thank you very much, Dorothy. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
My name is Jessie Canning, and I'm president of the Sidney S. Barron Public Relations Corporation in New York.
And number 3, what about you?
My name is Rita E. Bennett, and I'm a secretary for the National Foundation, sponsored by the March of Dimes.
Oh, incidentally, the March of Dimes is on right now, and you can well afford for the good that it can do and will continue to do for all of those who have already been stricken with polio before the Salk vaccine was ever thought of. Need your help, need it badly. So when that ring of the doorbell comes or the appeals through the mail, be sure you answer it. Am I right?
Definitely.
I am right. Okay, so let's check up on our score now and see what we have here. We have 1, 2, 3 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $750 from Marlborough. Ladies, I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I can see that we may have started a new television series of the 2 women standing with their pocketbooks there and drawing on each other. Kitty, I think you're wrong in saying you can never arrest anybody. You've been arresting me for years.
Oh.
And ladies, on your way out, you'll find a carton of Marlboro cigarettes for each of you. Hope you enjoyed your visit. Good night and good luck. Now, we'll get back to our game in just a minute. Now, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Richard Cobb.
What is your name, please?
My name is Richard Cobb.
What is your name, please?
My name is Richard Cobb.
Here's another affidavit, panel. Will you follow along, please? I, Richard Cobb, am a newspaper man. Formerly, I was a police reporter, and last year I was promoted to my present job. One of my functions is to come to New York to cover the trends in my field. I am the only man among 207 women in my line of work. I am women's fashion editor for my newspaper. Signed, Richard Cobb. Well, as you heard, here we have 3 gentlemen all claiming to be Richard Cobb, women's fashion editor. We'll begin this round with Julie Newmar. Julie?
Number 1. There's a famous English couturier by the name of Molyneux. What was his former occupation?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Number 2, what was it?
I'm sorry, I don't know either.
Number 3.
I don't know.
Oh, my gracious. Well, over on 57th Street, there's a very famous hat maker by the name of Mr. John. What is his first name, number 1?
John.
Number 2, what is his last name?
John.
So, what is his whole name, number 3?
John.
Number 2, may I ask you, without being derogatory, please, would you tell me what kind of hairdo I have?
Hump here.
Thank you. Am I not through yet?
No, not through. You want to
Number
be through?
3.
All right.
What? Oh!
Ralph Bellamy.
Go?
Yes,
Number 1, what paper do you work for?
The Virginian Pilot.
Number 2, what paper do you work for?
The Battle Creek Enquirer and News.
Number 3, what paper?
I work for the Oakland, California Tribune.
Number 2, who is Eugenie Shepard?
She's the fashion editor for the Herald Tribune.
Uh-huh. Number 1, will you give a capsule prediction of the new styles? Number 1.
Well, the spring styles are toward fitted clothes. It's
Toward what?
fitted clothes, as opposed to the chemise and the empire of the last season.
All right, number 2, would you try it?
Well, I'll go along with the fitted style. The waistline is going to return to normal. The hemline is going to drop a bit. In other words, we're going to see clothes on women like we saw probably in the early 40s.
In their early 40s?
No, in the early 40s.
Number 1.
Kitty, please.
Can you spell couturier?
Did you ask me?
No, number 1.
I can try. Couturier.
Number 2, do you think women dress for women or for other men?
I believe they dress for men.
You think that's good?
Yes.
Number 3, in France there's a penalty for stealing copies from the big couturiers. What is the penalty?
I'm not certain of the amount, but it ties in with the copyright laws.
Number 1, do you know what the penalty is?
I believe there is civil recourse as well as criminal.
Number 2,
prosecution.
what is Madame Chanel's nickname?
Coco.
Hi, Gardner.
I didn't even know that she bottled cocoa. Number 2, who is Eleanor Lambert?
She is probably known as the dean of the women's dress world. She runs the fashion shows.
Number 1, what is the name of the famous daily trade newspaper in the garment field?
It's Woman's Wear Daily.
Number 1 again, what is its logotype? What type of lettering?
It is an Old English lettering.
Number 3, does my column appear in the Oakland Tribune?
No, it does not.
Number 2, I would like to ask this question. Under what editor do you work, the feature editor, the women's editor, or the city editor?
I'm afraid we haven't got time to find out. Someday we'll climb to the top of the Empire State Building and see what we can see. But it's time to vote, so will you please mark your ballots and vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All set, panel? Everybody marked? Julie, all ready?
Yes.
Okay, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 2.
And
And I'm
Julie?
absolutely positive he is.
All right, Ralph, what about you?
Number 2. They were all quick and ready with the answers, but I felt number 2 was a little more secure and sure of himself.
Okay, Kitty.
I voted for number 2, and to quote Polly, I know it's not number 2. He knew too much, but number 1 said there was criminal recourse against copyists, but number 2 knew everything else.
Okay, and hi, Gardner, your selection.
Well, I also voted for number 2. I thought at first it was number 3 because he looked big enough to defend the title of a male fashion editor. But he was wrong about the Oakland Tribune, so I voted for 2.
Oh, good.
Okay, there you have it. Unanimous selection on number 2. Let's see whether we're right or whether we've really exploded a bomb here as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the real women's fashion editor. So will the real Richard Cobb please stand up?
Number 1.
Well, there's your bomb, you see. And a big explosion it was without even a countdown.
I saw him in the newsreel.
You saw whom in the newsreel?
Him.
He, him?
No, it was you. I know it was.
Number 2? Well, let's find out right now. Number 2, who are you really and what do you do?
My name is James Fells, and I'm an engineer with the American Telephone and Telegraph Company.
And when were you last in the newsreel?
I don't believe I've ever been in a newsreel.
Number 3, what about you?
I'm a major with Air Force recruiting here in New York City. I thought surely that Julie would guess my identity because she was in my office for some publicity pictures about a year ago.
Knitting, right?
Knitting? Well, let's have a Well, I really fooled you that time, didn't it, huh? What led you astray, Hi?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Nothing. Was a question of either 1 or 2, and I went for 2.
I see. Well, it sure pulled you all down the same line.
I had 2 all night.
For the second time tonight, we've had our challengers do 100% here. That means there were 4 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $1,000 from Marlboro. And on your way out, of course, a carton of Marlboro cigarettes for each of you. Good night, gentlemen, and good luck. And again, we've come to the end of our time, I'm sorry to say, except to reiterate, as I like to, Ralph, how happy we are that there's time for you on a Tuesday evening to both be with our panel and also starring in Sunrise Campobello.
I'm the one who's happy.
I know, so are we. And by the way, please stay tuned, all of you, to Arthur Godfrey follows immediately, and he has Red Skelton on as a guest tonight. You'll always have fun with that combination, I'm sure you know. I guess that's about it, panel. Good night. God bless you.
Good night, Bud.
This is Bud Collier saying good night from Marlboro and reminding all of you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production in association with the CBS Television Network.